It's your girl Jay, and welcome to Jay's Weekly Roundup, a show where I talk about everything that happened in K-pop this week. So let's start off with the first topic. Red Velvet comes back with the Velvet and flops. Now, before you hit that dislike button, I'll have you know I was a fan, or I am a fan of Red Velvet's Velvet Side. I guess it all started when randomly it was announced right when Red Velvet Comeback was supposed to drop. SM just randomly, like this was literally like 5 minutes before it was supposed to drop, SM randomly uploads a notice saying that they're pushing the comeback date to the next day. And everyone was like, what's going on? Now in the notice they said that they were trying to tweak the songs and make sure that they were perfect for this comeback. But a lot of people pointed out that even if they tweaked the songs and then reload it up to all the digital distributors like Melon and iTunes and maybe even Spotify, the physical copies would be unaffected because by now they should be already printed. So a lot of people thought maybe there was another situation with the music video where there was offensive things in it, maybe there was corruption in the music video. Regardless, they released it the next day as promised. So One of These Nights debuted at number 2, but after a while kind of fell down to number 20. Now compare that with Dum Dum, their last release, which debuted at number 1 and then stayed in the top 10, but it was mostly like 4 if I can recall. And it also did have competition in the fact that that was when the Infinity Challenge and I think Show Me the Money songs were really hot and popular, but they were able to maintain that position. So because of that difference in charting success, a lot of people are saying that this new song is flopping. I mean, I like Red Velvet for their music, not for their charting, but I had a feeling this whole Velvet release would be very risky because there's a track record of the Velvet side, the music that comes from the Velvet side of Red Velvet not doing as well as the Red side because it's not as poppy and it's not as everyone's style. Like it's a smaller, I guess, smaller group of people who would appreciate the Velvet songs. So I pretty much had a feeling that whatever they came out with this new Velvet comeback wouldn't be as popular as whatever they do with the Red side. And a lot of people actually have been arguing that because of this, SM should just drop the Red, the Velvet thing. And I feel like that's dumb because there are some people who literally are out here standing for the Velvet side of Red Velvet. And just because it's not as popular doesn't mean it's not appreciated. So I definitely think they should keep going with the Velvet. Maybe they should stick to what they did with Ice Cream Cake, and for every Velvet single there is a Red single along with it, like it's always a double title track type thing. I mean, that would definitely cost a lot of money. But as for saying that they're flopping, I feel like that's a bit of a stretch. Like I feel like people go way too hard in K-fandom and they're ready to call everything a flop. Like y'all, let's be honest, y'all are ready to call everything a flop, especially if you don't like the group. I mean, if you think about it, there are songs that don't even see the light of day on the Melon charts, and just because it's not number 1, y'all ready to say it's a flop? Y'all doing a lot. My only concern when it comes to Red Velvet's Velvet side flopping is that if it gets too unsuccessful and it becomes kind of like a waste of comeback money, that they'll just drop the whole Velvet thing altogether. And I wouldn't want that because, like I said, I'm one of those people who really appreciates the Velvet. So now somebody asked me to talk about this directly, and basically it was the blind item that was going around a couple weeks ago, maybe like 1, 2 thing, about apparently some news outlet was going to out an idol. And now the blind item said that this idol couple was actually a couple within the same group. And they were even bold enough to say things like they know that there's probably going to be a lawsuit along with this, so they're preparing themselves. Now it's been a week or so and nothing has come from it, and I actually heard that apparently this is actually an old blind item that was released like last year, but for some reason, because it was retranslated or re-brought up, a lot of people thought that it was going to happen soon. But I wanted to talk about specifically how, and I don't mean to call you out, but the particular user asked me to speculate on who I think the couple is, and let me tell you how that is something I would never do in a million years. Even if I did somehow think I knew who the couple was, I would not, because the whole idea of this, whether it's true or false, is disgusting, and it's terrible. You should never out someone. You should never force someone to reveal a part of themselves that they're not comfortable or ready to reveal. As sad as it's to say, them being outed could essentially ruin their career. And the fact that if this is true, a news outlet would be willing to do that just for a juicy story is sad. I mean, when I think about this, what comes to mind is the actor Kim Ji-hoo, who actually came out on a TV show called Coming Out on his own accord. But he actually ended up hanging himself the next year because all of the prejudice and negative, tension and people saying terrible things about him and how it basically just stifled his career. So he came out on his own accord. Imagine, the shock of somebody who's just outed out of nowhere and how that will affect just their whole life. So the idea that any outlet would be willing to do this, for a hot story is really disgusting. And it seems like, the whole thing was fake, but if that ever did happen, I would just be right 100 up disgusted. And that goes the same for me. I would never, if I had some hot story or some speculation or something, I would never talk about that because it's not my business to talk about. And I just wanted to make sure people knew that I would never be one to do stuff like that. So moving on. So Show Me the Money really turned heads when they announced that for Show Me the Money 5, they would not only be holding auditions in Korea, but also America. So this was really interesting. I feel like all the international fans were kind of like, because in my opinion, I feel like the point of it was to get Korean Americans who can't fly all the way to Korea to audition, to get them out to audition. But a lot of people were thinking, are non-Korean international fans gonna shout for us? Now, the way I see it is that at the end of the day, it's a Korean rap show. So I guess as long as you can speak Korean, I guess it doesn't really matter your nationality or your ethnicity. But a lot of people are wondering what kind of people would come out to these auditions. So recently, the auditions were held in LA, and some videos started floating around of foreign fans auditioning for the show, but rapping in English. And if I'm being honest, it wasn't very good. Okay, can I say that? Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to be true? So I'm just gonna link them in the thing below. But basically, some of the rhymes are very weak. A lot of people were saying that it wasn't like, these K fans are making a fool of themselves. And here's my whole thing. I feel like at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. If it's your dream to be on Show Me the Money and you don't know a lick of Korean, but you want to audition anywhere where you do you, boo-boo. But with that kind of sentiment, it kind of makes me wonder why you're auditioning. What is the motive behind your auditioning? Now, sometimes I'm wary of, and even when people say that they want to be like foreign, non-Korean K-pop fans saying that they want to specifically be K-pop stars, it kind of turns my head because it's like, if you're that passionate about singing and performing, why not try to be famous wherever you're from? I mean, this is coming from an American standpoint where there's a lot of racism towards Asian people in America, so it's very hard for them to break into mainstream, the mainstream music industry or acting industry. So I see Korea and K-pop, I'm like, okay, this is a great way for Koreans, whether you're from America, wherever you are, to break in to place and have a place to shine until America and different places gets better in how they treat Asians in mainstream media. So when foreigners want to come in, I'm always skeptical because I feel like a lot of foreigners who want to go into K-pop, their thinking behind it is either one, it'll be easy because I'll stand out automatically because I'm a foreigner, or two, I'm just doing this because I want to meet V from BTS, or whoever you stan. And I feel like if those are your intentions, then that's not something I can support. Because first of all, wanting to become famous just to meet your fave, that's not, I feel like, I mean, once again, you can do what you want, but I also feel like your spirit will be broken if that's the only reason you have behind wanting to become a K-pop idol or a K-rapper or whatever. And then the whole idea is that it's gonna be easy for me because I'm a foreigner, I'll automatically stand out. That's mad lazy, in my opinion. That's mad disrespectful for people who, do actually have passions for this singing and dancing and performing, and you're essentially taking their spot because you get the free I'm a foreigner ride. So when I saw these people rapping and not being very good at it, it just made me think, if there was, because this happens to be in America, these auditions. So if there was some hip hop show, like, I don't know, Show Me the coins or something in America, and it was the same premise where you auditioned to be on this rap show and you battle rap, would you be auditioning for it if it was in and based in America? Because if not, that just hints to me that you don't actually have a passion for rapping. You just want to be on this show because fun Korean show I watch or something like that. And the idea that you wouldn't try to at least rap in Korean just kind of seems, I don't know, it kind of seems messy to me. Like I said, it doesn't air yet, so we don't even know if any of these people got through. It might have just all been a waste of time. I don't know, it kind of made me torn because it's like, I support people, you know, doing their dream, but why is this your dream? Like, it just seems like unimpure intentions. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have a passion for something and be bad at it anyway, but like, I don't know, it's really, meh. So that's it for this week in K-pop. If I missed any important topics that you think I should tack over to the next episode of this show, make sure to tell me below. Also, make sure to tell me about your opinions on what I talked about today. Make sure to let me know down below and see you next time on Jay's Weekly Roundup.